Come sail away with us as we make our preparations to leave Tanzania. But first, we must explore Pemba Island.
So I said, hey, don't you wanna come and run away with me? Hey, won't you come and sit by our chest? Don't you want a man who fully understands a sailor's heart.
Tanga would have to be Tanzania's most welcoming yacht club. We really enjoyed our time here. The food in the restaurant is excellent and the beers are always cold. There's plenty of friendly faces and sweet sunsets can be enjoyed from the balcony overlooking the anchorage. Brody and Charlize made some great friends here and enjoyed hanging out. Brendan and I also made some great friends here, and we were even invited to Ed's birthday. Brendan pitched in to help Anna and Andy set up their lighting equipment. I think he was the only one brave enough to climb high up into the rafters. Swinging like a monkey across the beams, he made it look easy, but in no time, the lights were on and working. I think we all breathed a sigh of relief when he was safely on the ground though. He also helped out with the braai, as did Craig. And here's the birthday boy himself having a good time. The kids were in first to tuck into this amazing spread. And while the adults sat and enjoyed their meals, we were serenaded by the talented Andy as the sun went down.
North and South America and Australia, from all the islands and all the seas, are roots and branches of one tree.
The kids enjoyed toasting marshmallows by the fire, and we danced the night away. It's fun to watch the local fishermen sail by. And just outside of the club is this amazing baobab.
Go and stand beside it so I can get some perspective.
Have to be like 1,000 years old, wouldn't it?
Oh, that's huge.
It's massive.
Whilst we're in Tanga, we visited the Blue Room for some traditional Swahili cuisine. Brendan might have got the names asked about face, but either way, it was delicious.
It's trying the local Tanzanian cuisine. So we got nyla, and what's that one, Rod?
Kabibu.
How do you say it?
I think it's kabibu. I think it's like a crab meat. I think. Maybe.
No.
No? No, it's not meat, is
It's
it?
plant-based to me.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Not sure.
Actually, I think it's a vegan, yeah.
And then this one is
Bajuju.
bajuju. Delicious.
I'm not sure what any of it is.
And beautiful fresh passion fruit juice.
With a new supermarket in town, provisioning was pretty easy too. Initially, we thought this guy was burning his boat on the shore, but we went to ask a few questions and find out some more. We discovered that this is a process that happens every 4 years and takes 6 days. It is a traditional method that fishermen use to dry the waterlogged timber out.
Hello. Good morning.
When Brendan met fellow Australian Terry at the bar, they got to chatting about boats, and it turns out that Terry and his mate Neil were once owners of our boat Excelsior. She was called Reckless and Irresponsible back in those days, and Terry told us all about the modifications they did on board and the fun times they had catching mud crabs and drinking beers up in North Queensland. They even went to Middle Percy Island. It really is a small world, hey? So there was nothing for it but to invite Terry on board with his beautiful daughter Treasure, and we took them out sailing to the sandbar, rafting up with our safari mates on Making Time. The kids all had fun, hanging out and swimming. And we enjoyed lunch together before a sweet sail back to Tanga. It was a great day out. We also took our friends Max, Henry and Kelly out sailing.
Thank you, Brandon.
Max helmed while Henry unfurled the head sail.
Alright, the legs up there. Alright, yep.
And out on deck, Max was FaceTiming his entire family to show them he was out sailing with us. We all had such a lovely afternoon hanging out on board and a sweet sail. And on the way back, the boys busted some moves.
That means you're not coming. You're not coming.
I think we almost had them converted to the sailing life. It was so much fun taking you guys out, and I hope you really enjoyed it. And I can't be sure, but I suspect Brody was inspired by the dancing that went on. Early one morning when Brendan was having his coffee, he got in the dinghy and raced off towards the channel. I wasn't really sure what was happening at first, but then I could hear screams, "Help! Help!"
What happened?
Oh, I was watching the big green tug. He was towing one of the boats, one of the pilot boats out, and they had the lines up really high. And anyway, the pilot boat got a little bit skew-if, and it just started going sideways. And then it rolled, and the tug was just, I mean, obviously they're so powerful, it was just barreling, and these dudes were screaming and screaming, and the tug couldn't hear him, and yeah, sure as shit, it capsized and threw all of them out. It was pretty hectic. There was 4 of them in the water. One of them hung onto the boat that was sinking. The other 3 ended up out in the middle, and they had life jackets on their arms, on their chest, and their legs. 2 of them were crying. They can't swim.
Oh God.
They're pilots, and they couldn't swim.
Far
They were
out.
crying. They thought they were going to die because the tug couldn't get back to them. So yeah, I dragged them in, and it was pretty intense. Or pretty emotional. It's pretty crazy.
On you, Brendo. Our visa was due to expire, but before we left Tanzania, we needed to go and check out Pemba Island. Just leaving Tanga this morning to head to Pemba. So looking forward to some clearer water where we can dive and snorkel and just get in the water.
G'day, g'day. Just, oh man. Just punching it over to Pemba, the island just off Tanga, Tanzania. And it's not particularly pleasant, to say the least. I've got about 15 knots coming out of the southwest, but this is all just Indian Ocean sort of short wind chop swell. I hate how short it is. It kind of reminds me of Moreton Bay, but it is what it is. I think once we get out past the middle of the channel, it's only 24 mile across, so we should be right. Once we get out the middle of the channel, the swell and everything should die down, being blocked by Pemba. So we got a single reef main, not really required, but you just never know out here. I wasn't sure what it was going to be like when we finally stuck our head outside the land, so better to be safe than sorry. And like I said, like I keep saying, we don't want to put too much stress on the rig, especially considering in the next couple of months we're going to try and make our way down the Mozambique Channel. So yeah, full heady, single reef main, still getting along alright, doing about 7 knots. When we don't get bashed into one of those waves, it kind of stops us dead and you lose all your speed and have to pick it up again, but it is what it is. The real trick for us is the current. So the current in this channel runs at it's doing about 2.1 knots at the moment on the beam for us. So what that does is, if you're trying to go this way and you've got the wind out of here, but the current's coming from this way, the boat actually has to point that way to counter the current and to basically get us there. So you're kind of sailing sideways. But what that does for us is it really increases our apparent wind angle and can sometimes make it tricky, because catamarans don't like to point any higher than 40 degrees really. Any higher than that, you just lose too much speed and it's not worth it. So, oh, here we go, watch this one. Yeah, lovely. So for the moment we're actually doing all right. That's why I wanted to leave a bit earlier than usual, because every morning you basically get the winds coming off the land. It's called the katabatic breeze. So you get the katabatic breezes coming in and they sort of counter the sea breeze or the actual trade winds, which will hopefully get us across to Pemba before the trades really take over and the day sort of heats up. Otherwise we're gonna have to end up heading north and just be a pain in the ass. But that's the plan for now. We'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed. You make plans like this in sailing and they never fully come to fruition, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, for the moment we're definitely bashing. The old girl's up to the task though. Oh yeah, look at that. 2.3 knots of current directly on our beam. Look at that angle. So the black line there is actually our heading and the blue line is where we're going. So we're literally almost crabbing towards Pemba. Yeah, not very pleasant, but it is what it is. At least we're doing 7.5 knots. We've only got 3 hours to go. 3 hours over 23 miles isn't bad going. Anyway, we'll see how it all turns out. It'll be interesting once we get in the middle of the channel, I think. All right, so the plan worked. We're just arriving over here at Pemba, sort of just in time. I guess, like, the wind's just starting to shift now out of the southeast up the channel. So if we were leaving now, we would have really struggled, because we actually encountered 3.9 knots of current on the beam coming up the channel today. So with that current coupled with a southeasterly wind, we just wouldn't have been able to do it. It would have been pointing too high. So I'm really glad we left when we did and used those katabatic winds and pushed across. So at the moment we're doing about, we're sort of bouncing between 8.5 to 9.5 knots. The current you can see right now has dropped right back down to 2.4, and we've only got 16 knots. We're actually flying. That's not bad. 9.2 knots, 17 knots of breeze. So anyway, we're going to come in this channel here. Navionics isn't too bad here in Pemba, thank God. A few of the other countries we've been to, they're absolutely useless. So I'm going to come and sneak in here and drop the pick. Oh, that was a bit crazy. I'm going to come sneak in here and drop the pick in this area here. I reckon that'll give us really good protection from the southerlies tonight, and the water looks clear on the sats, so sort of half see that, I guess. So we'll come in that channel there, and then just punch it in behind that little island there. Look at that. That looks just lovely. Pretty hard to see, but we'll see how we go.
So we're under sail and about to come into a narrow channel, and this massive ferry is coming in at the same time and won't answer us on the radio.
Ikram, this is Excelsior, channel 16, intentions requested. So if I just point towards him right now, he should pass in front of us. Oh, actually no, I gotta bear away. If I point, I'll get too much speed up.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. So unprofessional. Answer your radio, you bellend. Professional captain my ass. It's pushing us so close. Come on, man.
So
He's not even on AIS.
that's the channel that we're sailing through. He's not on AIS. He's not returning our radio calls and came dangerously close to us. That was quite frightening. I'm shaking a little
That's just
bit.
part of the shit you gotta deal with in these countries.
I'm shaking. Like, you can see how shallow this is. And he's just plowed ahead of us. Whew, that was close.
Not long after anchoring, I went on Google Maps and discovered that there was an 11th century mosque ashore nearby, so we went along to check it out. There were some incredible tall palm trees here standing sentinel over the site. Even though we met and asked a man ashore if we could visit the site and he agreed, another man told us we had to leave. So off we went with our tail between our legs. We even moved the boat around to another anchorage with another set of ruins, where we were actually welcomed ashore this time.
Oh, they're tethered. Can you see it? Super friendly. Different to the last place.
The ruins here are much the same, but the local villagers, especially the children, were very welcoming, if not a little camera shy.
Just for anyone wondering the importance of satellite imagery, I'm just going to show you one more time how important this shit is. Oh, it's hard to see with the reflection. Nah, that's impossible. You can see the bombies there. Bomby, 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 all the way around the corner. So we're going to do our best to avoid those.
The fast ferries are exactly as advertised, and they cruise on by at speed. Luckily, Brendan knows how to handle the wake that comes off them, angling the boat at a 45-degree angle so that we don't cop too much wake on the beam. We tried to get out to another spot, Pemba Island, and it truly is breathtaking. But unfortunately for us, the anchorage was far too deep and the swell was wrapping around the island, making it very uncomfortable. So we up and left and found another anchorage with some friendly villagers.
Hello, Mambo. Boa, boa. Good. Boa, boa.
When we came into Makoni Seaport to hand our transire in, we realised it was a really busy shipping port. And we also discovered, to our heartbreak, that Pemba is actually governed under a different government to Tanzania, even though it's considered part of Tanzania. So they wanted to charge us more immigration fees.
We were all in a pretty somber mood yesterday and even this morning, and we're getting going now. And even though there's a bit of cloud cover around today, the turquoise water, the colour out here, it just, I don't know, it just changes your sort of emotion, I guess, makes you feel a little bit better and happier. And so for tonight, I'm going to go and plonk ourselves just about there and wait, because the wind tomorrow is less, and then Friday it looks like it drops out completely. Then we're going to go and spend a couple of days out here. This is all just crystal clear blue water. That's basically the Indian Ocean straight out from there. So we'll have a crack at that, and obviously we'll try and film as much as we can to show you what it's like and whether it's worth doing. It looks a bit dicey because it's pretty shallow, and we're doing it all on high tide, and we'll find our holes to anchor in for low. But yeah, just kind of needed it. We just needed to get away from civilization and humans for a little while. We're actually sailing on our own, which our family needs every now and then. We just have to do it. We love cruising with people, absolutely love it, but just every now and then we like to get away and just disappear on our own and go exploring as a family. So
The water here though was like nothing we had ever seen. It was so crystal clear, like a swimming pool.
I'm kicking myself at the moment that we don't have a drone. I don't know if we told you, but we lost 2 drones in quick succession after having them for nearly 3 years. One of them we lost due to the phone performing an update halfway through a flight. Obviously couldn't retrieve it. And then the second one, which was a Mavic Air. The first one was a DJI Mini, the second was a Mavic Air, and one of the batteries failed. We actually got a notification on the screen that the battery was failing, and it just plonked itself in the ocean, never to be seen again. So this seems to be a bit of a recurring thing with DJI. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to make a big change with regards to what drone we use, and we're a little bit excited about it. I'm not going to say what drone it is yet, but we are changing companies. The drone is on its way from Europe as we speak. So hopefully by the time we're back in Tanga, over on the east coast there, we'll have this new drone, and we'll do a big spiel on it, and we'll see how it goes. Something really cool about this waterway, as you can see, all you can see is my head. See on the sats, or if you look in the Google machine, you can't really see it there, but like, it looks like there's waves in the sand. You can see that quite there. It actually is, like if you look at the sounder, you can see the waves that are made in the sand underwater. It's unreal, look at that. I love that stuff, it's so cool. I love this sounder too. Awesome. Yeah, I just thought I'd show you that. It's quite cool. Little sandy waves there. You can actually see them on the sounder. I love it.
And Murphy's Law, we ran into some drama as we were navigating the narrowest section and shallowest section of this reef pass.
Reef! No, I'm going that way. Yeah. We're leaving. We go. I go. I'm going. Yeah. I can't do this now. How many? $200. Shillings. No. You just hit my bike. Get off now.
Brendan was cranky because they damaged our hull.
Yeah. I'm not paying you now, buddy. I've got to navigate. Captain, okay? Okay? I'm sorry. Fuck. I don't know what he fucking wants.
He asked for $150, and then he asked for $200, then he asked for $20, then he asked for 20,000 shillings.
He's from the conservation. Like that's a legitimate thing. But
Did they
yeah, he hit the boat.
So I'm going to charge you for going to
It's not that like what he's charging. It's a legitimate fee. Like I knew about it 100%. But I can't stop now. I cannot fucking stop. Like we're in the narrowest channel, reef all around us, and he wants to stop.
I did a lot of digging and contacted Tanzania marine parks to find out what their fees are. We were informed that Pemba is actually governed under the revolutionary government of Zanzibar and have different rules and fees. So I contacted them directly, and here's what I found. So, entrance fees for each person per day in a marine park in Zanzibar is $3 per person. Entry into Pemba is $5 per person per day. Then you have marine conservation areas, which we were in, so that's $25 per person per day. And there's also fees to go to shore. So if you go to visit a resort, accommodation or campground, there are fees. And then, of course, last and not least is the anchoring fee for foreign registered yachts, $50 per day. And the conservation area for Pemba is the entire west coast. Zanzibar also brought in mandatory inbound travel insurance costing $44 per person, so $176 for our family. A lot of people were upset by this, and here's what they had to say. A couple who flew into Dar es Salaam were even charged this fee, even though they had no intentions of visiting Zanzibar.
That right there is 17 metres and you can see the bottom. So beautiful, crystal clear water.
While Pemba is definitely a stunning cruising grounds, I guess you have to weigh up whether it's really worth it. Like many other cruises, we simply cannot afford these high fees to visit these places. And when Madagascar also closed their borders to us, it only added insult to injury. We were truly heartbroken to come all this way and not get the chance to see it. Anyway, the sun had set on our time in Tanzania, and we now had a new plan to cruise on into Kenya. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe.